Welcome to this post-match explainer. Day 7 of the 2026 FIFA World Cup is officially in the books. And wow, what an absolutely unbelievable day of football we just witnessed. Seriously, from tactical masterclasses to historic droughts finally being broken to the sheer physical demands of this expanded tournament, yesterday literally had it all. We're going to go ahead and skip the usual agenda today because I really want to give you that breaking news straight from the press box feel. We've got a massive slate to cover, focusing heavily on a chaotic, brilliant, and honestly deeply revealing performance from the Three Lions. Okay, let's dive into this, because this quote right here, this is the absolute defining moment of yesterday's action. Picture it, it's halftime in Arlington, Texas. England and Croatia are locked at 2-2 after a breathless 45 minutes. You know the drill, the ghosts of tournaments past are probably creeping into that locker room. But instead of tightening up, England manager Thomas Tuchel looks at his squad and delivers this exact directive. Let the shackles off. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, wow. It was a profound shift in mindset that completely changed the trajectory of the match. It shifted England from a team historically paralyzed by the fear of losing into one that was totally liberated by the desire to win.
Which brings us to Section 1, the Dallas Wow Boys, Tactical Risks and Rewards. The British press is already running with that nickname, and analyzing this 4-2 victory over Croatia is just a sports journalist's dream. Why? Because it completely breaks all of England's conventional rules. They embraced uncertainty, and the result was hands down one of the most emphatic statements of the World Cup so far.
Now let's look at how this builds, because you really have to understand the sheer chaos of that first half. It was a breathless back and forth. Boom! It starts in the 12th minute, Harry Kane buries a penalty conversion on a retake. But then Croatia bites back in the 36th with a brilliant curling equalizer from Martin Baturina. Just 6 minutes later, Kane rises up, smashes home a powerful header off a pinpoint Declan Rice corner, 2-1 England. But then, deep in stoppage time, defensive vulnerabilities in transition get exposed, and Yoane Wissa equalizes, 2-2 at the break. Just pure, unadulterated chaos.
But before we get into the second half tactical shifts, we gotta pause for this number, 10. With that powerful first half header, Harry Kane scored his 10th career World Cup goal. That ties in with the legendary Gary Lineker for the long-standing English World Cup goal record. I mean, it's a monumental statistical achievement for a striker who, honestly, arrived at this tournament in the absolute form of his life, proving once again exactly why he's the focal point of this team.
Just look at the sheer volume of England's attacking overload here. Tuchel deployed an aggressive 4-2-3-1 possession system that was designed specifically to isolate wide defenders and create these massive pockets of space. And the pressure? It was overwhelming. 22 total attempts on goal, 36 touches inside the opposition box, nearly 3.0 expected goals. And obviously it paid off massively, with Jude Bellingham scoring right out of the gate in the 47th minute and Marcus Rashford coming off the bench to seal it late in the 85th to make it 4-2.
But here's the defensive paradox we have to unpack in our post-match report today. How does a team completely dominate, yet concede twice? While the data shows goalkeeper Jordan Pickford faced just 0.59 expected goals against, but England actually conceded 2 goals due to individual transition errors. We saw some really shaky moments and a lot of vulnerability from defenders like Reece James and John Stones. It's a high-risk system, right? It leaves them wide open to the counter, and man, it's going to be fascinating to see how they adjust as this tournament progresses.
All right, let's pivot our energy from Dallas over to Houston for Section 2, a historic point as DR Congo stuns Portugal. If England showed us the power of a dynamic attack, Portugal showed us exactly what happens when immense talent fails to operate as a cohesive unit. It was a staggering juxtaposition, resulting in a historic 1-1 draw.
And this brilliantly illustrates the clashing tactical philosophies of that match. On one side, you have Portugal's sterile possession. They boasted this incredible 96% passing accuracy, but it was just passing for passing's sake, absolutely no end product. On the other side, DR Congo deployed an incredibly well-drilled, resilient low block. They gave up possession, sure, but they were physical, they were compact, and they completely compressed the space to spring direct, really dangerous counterattacks.
Which brings us to the elephant in the room, represented right here by the number 25. That is the extremely meager number of touches 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo had in this match. Yep, 25. It was the fewest of any Portuguese player who featured for more than 45 minutes. Ronaldo essentially operated as a totally static target man, making it incredibly easy for Congo's physical center backs to just mark him right out of the game. He missed 2 clear chances, which extends his scoreless run in major tournaments to 10 matches. Rough.
And DR Congo absolutely capitalized on Portugal's lack of edge.
Deep in first-half stoppage time, Yoane Wissa converted a cross to secure the equalizer. But guys, this wasn't just a goal. It was an emotional, truly historic breakthrough. It was DR Congo's first World Cup goal and point in 52 years. Just a total stunner, capped off by the Congolese fans brutally chanting Messi, Messi at a visibly frustrated Cristiano Ronaldo. What a monumental day for the Leopards.
Okay, let's transition back to the sports desk for Section 3, Global Roundup, covering altitude, rain, and late drama. If those first two matches were defined by tactical choices, these next two were heavily defined by extreme environmental conditions.
You see, this expanded North American footprint creates some absolutely wild extremes. Down in Mexico City at the legendary Estadio Azteca, Colombia faced debutants Uzbekistan in crushing high altitude. Meanwhile, way up north in Toronto, Ghana faced Panama in a literal torrential downpour. These conditions demanded total physical and tactical adaptability from every single player out on that pitch. Because honestly, you just cannot play the same way in the thin air of Mexico City as you do in the freezing cold rain of Canada.
And both teams showed immense grit to prevail. For Colombia, Luis Díaz sparked rapid, kinetic wing play to overcome the altitude and beat Uzbekistan 3-1. Meanwhile, in that Toronto rain, Ghana's goalkeeper Lawrence Adizigi made an unbelievable second-minute save before unfortunately having to exit with an injury at the half. Oh, and missing Thomas Partey due to UK legal issues, Ghana still hung on with Caleb Urinki scoring a 95th-minute stoppage-time tap-in to break Panamanian hearts and steal a 1-0 win. Just absolute pure grit from both squads.
Shifting gears from the match results, I want to pull back a bit for Section 4, the tournament toll, looking at sports science in 2026. Look, with 48 teams playing across 3 countries, the physical and cognitive load on these guys is unprecedented, and science is quite literally dictating the rules in real time.
So the crucial point is this new structural rule right here, mandatory hydration breaks. This is a required 3-minute pause midway through each half of every single match. It's designed by sports scientists as a preventative countermeasure against exertional heat illness, which, let's be real, is one of the leading causes of athletic mortality. Physiologically, it's just a necessary safety net given the brutal summer heat in a lot of these host cities.
However, it has sparked some intense strategic debate. Why? Because it is strictly enforced regardless of the actual weather. I mean, think about the irony here. You have England playing in AT&T Stadium under a climate-controlled retractable roof. You have Ghana playing in the freezing torrential rain in Toronto. Neither of those conditions pose an exertional heat threat, yet the match is forcibly halted for 3 minutes. Tacticians are out here arguing that this completely breaks the momentum of the game, while others, well, they're using it to their absolute advantage.
Which actually brings us full circle right back to England. Harry Kane noted, "We could have scored probably 3 goals in that 20-minute spell coming out of halftime. England had the momentum by the throat, right? And when that second-half hydration break hit, Thomas Tuchel didn't just give his players water. No, he used that pause as a literal tactical timeout. He brought on fresh legs in Bukayo Saka and Marcus Rashford. And guess what happened? Right after that break, Saka assists Rashford to put the game to bed. The sports science rule literally became a tactical weapon.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question of this tournament. As this expanded, super grueling 48-team World Cup tests the absolute physical and cognitive limits of these athletes, what philosophy is actually going to win out? Will it be the high-risk, completely unshackled attacking tactics we just saw from England, or will the disciplined, resilient, physically imposing defensive structure of a team like DR Congo ultimately lift the 2026 World Cup? Keep analyzing the shape, keep watching the tactics, because this tournament is just getting started. Thanks for joining this explainer and enjoy the rest of the matches.